Hi there, gorgeous, and a very happy Frugal Friday to you. If you are new to the channel, welcome. I make videos like this every Friday, focusing on drugstore makeup. I also make videos on Mondays and Wednesdays, so if you'd like to be notified of new ones in the future, please subscribe, and thank you if you do. Today I'm showing you a couple new products from Wet n Wild in an up-close application, specifically their Dewy foundation, which I've had a lot of questions about, and something called a multi-stick, which I'll talk more about here in a minute. I've also included a wear test at the end of the video, and I will let you know if any of these products are worth getting or not. So the first thing I'm going to do is apply an eyeshadow primer. I'm using one from Profusion Cosmetics today. This is their No Budge, which I have tested before, by the way, so it is a trusted primer. It performs exceptionally well. First products I have to share with you are the Wet n Wild Multi-Sticks. I don't know if these are brand new. In Walgreens, it said these were brand spanking new. I'm not really sure. New colors, maybe? Who knows? Anyway, I picked up 3 to try out. I got a deep purple, a lavender, and a blue, so I'll show you swatches of those real quickly here. What's interesting about these is Wet n Wild says you can use them on your eyes, your cheeks, and your lips, so it's one of those multi-purpose type products. That lavender shade is calling my name. So I'm using that one today, and I'll go ahead and apply it on the eyes. Super pigment. My goodness, when I swatched these, I was amazed at the level of pigment I got with the tiniest amount. And I'm going to take a brush and blend it. And I'll probably add a crease color and keep this solely on the lids. Although you really don't need to. I mean, you could leave it just like that. It looks really beautiful. Going in with my Violets palette from Juvia's Place, I'm taking this really deep matte purple here, and I'm going to apply this to the outer third of the lid and blend it up in the outer outer crease. I'm just adding this step in case anyone's curious of how I accomplished the eye look. And my crease shade is a simple neutral matte brown. That's really all that I use there. Well, I've barely gotten the eye look complete here, and when I went like this, I could already tell that that multi-stick was starting to crease on my eyes. I haven't even had this on for 10 minutes and it's already creasing. So I think what I'm going to do to eliminate that is to set it with a purple eyeshadow, and more than likely, let's see what I have here. So I'm going to cheat a little bit here. I've dug into my MAC collection and pulled out the eyeshadow called Man Catcher, which is one of my most favorite purple eyeshadows. If I ever got the opportunity to create my own purple eyeshadow, this would absolutely be one of the purples that would be in it. Ugh, it looks terrible. So I'm going to attempt to save that multi-stick, but I'm really disappointed to see that much creasing, and I haven't even had it on for 10 minutes. It's Went ahead and completed my eyes. The lashes I'm wearing today are from my lash line, Inky Minky Lashes, in the style Authentic. I'll have them linked for you below if you're interested. I also went back and added more of the darker purple multi-stick on the lower lash line there. It doesn't really work so well as an eyeliner, but I more or less just darkened the lashes on that lower lash line. So we'll see. The next product that I want to test is a new foundation that Wet n Wild released very recently, and this is their Dewy Photofocus foundation. They did send me the entire line of colors, so I went ahead and swatched every single one of them so you can see the full range that they offer. And if you're interested in the breakdown of these shades, I'll have them listed out in the description box from left to right in the swatches that I'm showing you here. Now, I've been asked before, why would someone with an oily complexion be testing a dewy foundation? And I understand your concern, I get it. But I'm not testing this foundation, or any dewy foundation for that matter, in terms of longevity when it comes to shininess. I guess what I'm saying is, because I'm oily, a dewy foundation is going to make me look shiny. I mean, that's a given. What I'm testing this foundation for, in any dewy foundation for that matter, is, does it transfer? Does it move around the face? How does it apply? How does it look after application? Those kinds of properties are what I'm looking for. So that's what I'm going to be testing for you here today. So when I show you the wear test at the end, don't pay attention to shininess and disco ball factor and all that, because we know that's going to happen. But I more or less want you to focus on how it looks on the skin. Shade that I am using is in Porcelain, by the way, and this is like their traditional Photofocus foundation. When you take it out, it has the same kind of applicator, as you can see there. They also included their primer serum with the PR kit that they sent with all the foundations, and this is a hydrating primer, so I'm going to apply that beforehand. Just for giggles today, I am going to pair this foundation up on one side of my face with a more mattifying primer to see if that helps it last a little longer in terms of shininess, and I'm using the one from Ulta Beauty. Small amount of that and apply it to this side. Sometimes I can wear a more dewy foundation when I have a mattifying primer underneath. Not always. And I'll go ahead and apply the Photofocus Primer Serum on this side of my face. So I'll take a small amount, ooh, and apply it on the skin over here. It has a beautiful scent to it. I did notice rose water was in the ingredient list, so you will get a very strong hint of roses. You can already see the difference from one side to the next. Shiny, not shiny. So while we're waiting on this side to get a little more dry, I'll go ahead and apply the foundation on the side that's already set. And like I said, I'm looking to see how this foundation blends in, how it wears, if it moves, that sort of thing. And right here, I can already see, very easy to blend in. And it appears to be giving my skin beautiful coverage. It does have a scent. For those who are sensitive to scents, it's, what is it? It almost smells like Target. Yeah. Have you ever walked in and just smelt Target? Maybe the laundry section is what I'm thinking of, but that's what it reminds me of. So far, it is gorgeous on the skin. You can definitely see the dewiness there, but no trouble with blending it in. I feel like the coverage is exceptional, and it's not too full coverage, which I usually don't like in a foundation. And I had redness on my cheeks, like you can see there, and this is doing a beautiful job of correcting it. Usually, I would apply a green color corrector to minimize the redness before the foundation application, but I don't like to do that when I'm testing foundations out because sometimes it can affect the wear time. And I really do want to see sometimes if the foundation will cover the redness all on its own without the help of a color corrector. Gorgeous once again. No issues with blending it in, and it looks beautiful on the skin. Whoa, buddy. Yeah, luminosity plus plus plus. And to set everything, I'm using the Coty Airspun Translucent Powder. A very light dusting. I'm not going to pack it onto the skin so much. Just enough. Because if I don't do this, we're not gonna make it. Usually when it comes to dewy foundations, this is what I will do. Because it doesn't completely mattify the skin. It sets it, but it doesn't mattify it. If I were to pack the powder on, then I would get a truly matte appearance, where this allows some of the glow to still come through. You can see what I mean on the forehead. On the day that I tested these products out, I wore them for a straight 9 hours, and this is what my face looked like at the end of the day. I am very impressed, I have to tell you, with the foundation. It did not move, it did not transfer, it stayed in place. It was beautiful on application. And you can see that the side without the primer was a little bit more dewy compared to the side with the primer. And honestly, even with the hydrating primer that Wet n Wild created for this dewy foundation, I loved the results at the end of the day. And I would wear it in the future with either their primer serum or the matte one that I used in the video. Either way, I think it's an excellent foundation, extremely beautiful on the skin, and doesn't give me that disco ball shiny glow that a lot of dewy foundations tend to do. I know we weren't testing that, but I just wanted to say that if you're oily, it's still one that I feel like you could wear and it would give you a little bit of luminosity without being over the top. Now with the multi-stick product, this is one that I was not over the moon with, and I did try it out with a separate primer to see if the primer may have been the cause for that initial greasiness that I experienced with the application that I showed you, but no, it doesn't matter which primer I use. With these multi-sticks, they tend to crease almost immediately after the initial application. So for me, this is a product that I have to set almost instantaneously with an eyeshadow. You can also set it with a translucent powder if you don't want to lose out on the color with these. And I was disappointed to see that because even as an eyeliner, it smudged and moved around. It's almost like grease paint. It doesn't dry down fully. So if you have a drier eyelid, you might experience a little bit more success with this, but then again, you may not. So take my opinion with a grain of salt. I don't have extremely oily eyelids, and the primers that I use to test them out are excellent ones that I rely on all the time. Going back to the foundation quickly here, I also wanted to mention that in the video I used the Porcelain shade, which I feel like was a little too yellow for me, and while it looked okay on camera and in person, it's not going to be one that I'm going to use again. So I went back and used the Shell Ivory shade, which is much more pink by comparison and looked a lot better on my skin tone. So if you have found that the shades that I use have helped you in the past, I would look into the Shell Ivory shade if you're interested in trying this foundation. I did feel like that was a beautiful match for me. Let me know if you've had the opportunity to try these products out. Feel free to share your thoughts below. I hope that you found it helpful today. Wishing you a beautiful weekend ahead. My mom went back home. We had a wonderful visit. It was so nice to see her. Jet had the whole week off from preschool, so we got to spend some time with my mom. He had only seen her twice before, so him and Gia were a little, you know, like not really knowing how to act or what to expect, but by the end of the week they started warming up to her, so it was really nice to see that. And I know that she said she's going to start making a lot more trips down here to see us, so that'll be really fun to look forward to in the future. And she surprised me. She said out of nowhere when we were talking, she came into the studio to look at it at one point, and she was mentioning my lipsticks and all that, and I told her I was keeping them for dupe videos, and she says, I know, I watch your videos. I was like, what? Because my dad was never shy about sharing my videos with friends and telling me that he watched this video and he enjoyed this part of it and all that. But my mom has never really said, oh, I watch your videos, or I really like this. And it just kind of threw me off for a second. So hi, Mom, if you're watching. It's just really cool to find that out, that she's been watching all this time. But anyway, hope you have a wonderful weekend. I know we will too. We just enrolled Jet in soccer, so we're going to be having fun with him this weekend doing that. I'll see you again next week. Mwah!